إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا فمن يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله سبحانه وتعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أما بعد. My dearest brothers and sisters, I want you to think back 1435 years ago when the Prophet ﷺ first moved to Medina as a muhajir. In Medina, it was a new stage in the life of the Muslim community. They now had their own country, if you like. They were in charge of their own affairs. The community now was not a minority Muslim community like us living here today. It was a majority Muslim community. It was their land and they were ruling it by what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had legislated. But that new stage in their life and in the mission of the Prophet ﷺ came with new challenges. And one of the new challenges that they faced in Medina was a challenge of dealing with the hypocrites. That amongst the Muslim community, there were some people, men and women, sometimes working alone as lone agents or working as a movement. Those people would say, آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر. We believe, we're Muslims, just like you. We believe in Allah and the last day. But inside their hearts, if you could see, Allah says, وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. They actually didn't believe in Islam to be the truth whatsoever. So why do you call yourself Muslims? In order to wreak havoc from within the Muslim community. Once you say you're Muslim, you can do things, say things, and people really can't say anything to you. Why? Because you said you're a Muslim. This was the cancer from within the Muslim community. The cancer of hypocrisy. So be clear, my brothers and sisters, that according to the Qur'an, a hypocrite is not just a bad Muslim. A Muslim who struggles to pray his 5 times prayers. He struggles to fast Ramadan. He does many bad things in his life. A hypocrite is not that person. A full-blown hypocrite is the one who claims to be a Muslim, claims to love Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but inside he hates the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inside he hates Islam and the Sharia. And sometimes you can see that in the way he talks. Sometimes you can see that in the way she behaves. And one of the things that they were known for is that they would happily take sides with the enemies of Islam. In those days, the enemies were the Quraysh. And the Quraysh wanted so badly to destroy the Muslims. But these hypocrites, instead of supporting the Muslims to defend themselves and to propagate Islam, they would side with the Quraysh in order to try and destroy the Muslims. Like in the Battle of Uhud, 1,000 Muslim warriors went to war with the Quraysh. But along the way, 300 from them got up and abandoned the rest, hoping that when they go back to Medina, the Quraysh will come and easily devour the 700. And then when they come to Medina, will be there and say, we never fought you, you're on your side. Those are the munafiqun. In our times, the same thing. We find that the hypocrites, known as the so-called experts on Islam, people are very happy to give them time on the news, on the TV, write articles in the papers, in which these so-called experts on Islam attack Islam, and they malign Muslims, and they try and make life for me and you as difficult as possible. Isn't that true? Isn't that what's happening to our children in our schools now? Don't they come and visit our children? Take them to one side and say, does your mom and dad allow you to celebrate Christmas? The child says, Christmas? Astaghfirullah, you go to hell if you celebrate Christmas. Okay, this guy, his parents, they're radical, they're extreme. We need to report them to the authorities. But who is the person in the middle who's asking those questions? What do you know? It's a Muslim. What is happening here? You are working with those people who are targeting us simply because we believe that Allah is the only one worthy of worship, and whatever He says goes. What does that say about you, brother? What does that say about you, sister? Because Allah told us that that's something that hypocrites do. Can we say for sure that you are a hypocrite? No, we can't. Because that's something inside of your heart. But for sure, the way you behave and the job that you've chosen to take, it says a lot about who you really are. Now in the Qur'an, in Surah Al-Hadid, the 57th chapter of the Qur'an, verse 12 onwards, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us about an encounter, a confrontation that will take place in the life to come between the real believers, may Allah make us from them, and the munafiqun, may Allah never make us from them. On Yawm al-Qiyamah, though in this life those hypocrites are hidden amongst us, Allah will uncover their evil faces for us on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allah told us in the Qur'an that this will happen. Allah said in verse number 12, يَوْمَ تَرَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَسْعَى نُورُهُمْ بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَبِأَيْمَانِهِمْ بُشْرَاكُمُ الْيَوْمَ. That you, O Messenger of Allah, you will see on that day a great scene, a great spectacle. Ibn Kathir rahimahullah said this will happen when all the Muslim world is gathered before As-Sirat. You know the bridge that hangs over Jahannam, we will all have to cross one day. We will all be gathered there. Allah is saying on that day, you, O Messenger of mine, you will see this spectacle. تَرَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ, real true believers and real true men and women believers. You see, on that day, at that time, before we're going to cross the bridge, Allah will cast darkness over everyone. There will be total darkness and we won't be able to see anything. Then Allah will give every single one of us our own personal light. Even the hypocrites will be given a light. But then Allah says, ذَهَبَ اللَّهُ بِنُورِهِمْ in Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah will snatch away their light, take away their light, and will be left in darkness. As for the believers, the Prophet ﷺ will see them, men and women, because sisters, your struggles in life in being a true believing woman are different sometimes than that of a man, isn't that true? But Allah is saying, both men and women, your personal struggles for my sake will be recognized on that day. You will see them both, O Prophet, يَسْعَى نُورُهُمْ بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ, and they will be marching forward with light coming from in front of them, وَبِأَيْمَانِهِمْ, as well as their right hand side. The Prophet ﷺ explained that this light will be different for every single person. For some, it will go, he said, from Medina ila Sana'a, all the way to Yemen, stretching for hundreds of kilometers in front of them. And he said for others, it will be just barely going past their feet. And he said that this light is based on the person's deeds. The more good deeds you have to your name, the further the light will shine on that day. And when that light comes forward, it will also come from the right-hand side. Why the right-hand side and not the left-hand side? فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ. Allah said, because those who are righteous, they will be given their book of good deeds where? On their right-hand side. So the book, our book, will have a light shining forward as well, subhanAllah. Imagine that scene. And you're not just walking. يَسْعَى نُورُهُمْ. They are rushing forward, crossing that bridge. What is on the other side of that bridge, my brothers and sisters? Jannah. We are heading that day towards our home, Jannah. And not just walking. Allah said we'll be running that day. بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَبِأَيْمَانِهِمْ بُشْرَاكُمُ الْيَوْمِ. Angels will shout out that day, congratulations today, subhanAllah. Imagine angels saying to you, congratulations, you made it today. بُشْرَاكُمُ الْيَوْمِ جَنَّاتٌ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ. Gardens, not just one garden that day, so many of us. Jannat, the plural. Countless gardens as far as the eye can see. تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ. Beneath which rivers flow. An unbelievable scene. We're going to be going there, inshallah. The Prophet ﷺ said rivers will flow of wine, of honey, of milk, and of water. تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا. You're not just going to stay there for one day, it's not a holiday. 1 week holiday, no. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا. You're going to stay there forever. An endless bliss and enjoyment, never ending. Forever and ever, you will enjoy that. ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. And that day, that is the true success. That is a real success. Because every one of us, we have our own understanding of what is success. For some of us, it's a good education. For some of us, it's becoming a professional, becoming a doctor. So everyone has that idea in their mind, this is what success is. And for sure, that is success on some level. ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. But that there, my brothers and sisters, Jannah, that is the ultimate success. Don't ever be confused about that. And now the conversation turns to the munafiqun. وَيَوْمَ يَقُولُ الْمُنَافِقُونَ وَالْمُنَافِقَاتُ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا انظُرُونَا. And now Allah says, you won't have to see this, O Messenger of Allah. But this is what's going to be happening. The same time, if the believers are marching on forward, who's left behind? The hypocrites. Allah said both the women hypocrites and the men hypocrites. I know all of you, you'll be lagging behind that day in darkness. And you'll see the believers marching on with their light. You have no light. And that is why they will say, Unduruna, wait for us. Now who are they turning to help? They're turning to the believers. They spend their whole life trying to make our lives miserable. And that day they're in a state of desperation. Unduruna. Allah never said intaziruna. Allah said unduruna. Intaziruna means to wait, stop and wait. But they know people going to Jannah are not going to stop for anyone. So they say unduruna. It means stop just for a second. Just for a second stop. Naqata bismi nurikum. We just want to share your light. You know, like you're in a cave and it's dark. Someone has a lit torch. You got a torch as well, it's not lit. What do? You go and touch it on that person's fire. That's what they're asking. Naqata bismi nurikum. We don't want to take your light. We just want to share of it. So they're trying to go forward, hoping to get a share of that light, قِيلَ ارْجِعُوا وَرَاءَكُمْ قِيلَ. Voices in the darkness now respond to them. ارْجِعُوا وَرَاءَكُمْ. Turn around and go back. Imagine hearing that. Who is saying that to me? Qeel, it is unknown. Angels in the dark telling them, go back, don't you dare go near them. فَالْتَمِسُوا نُورًا. Go back to the dunya and get your light. Can they go back? We can't go back. We died, we were resurrected. Why are you telling us to go back? We can't go back. Subhanallah. Because being told to do the impossible is like being tortured. Psychological torture. We can't do that. Why are you telling us to go back? Just like Allah said in Surah Al-A'raf, لا يدخلون الجنة حتى يلج الجمل في سم الخياط. They will never enter paradise until what? Until they pass the camel through the eye of a needle. Is that even possible? To pass a camel through the eye of a needle? No! But you're going to be told, go ahead and try it. And that is desperation and being tortured out of that desperation. That is what they deserve, subhanAllah, Allah is telling us. So they are told, go back. And for another reason as well, somebody may say, have they been given a light because Allah just likes them? Is it favoritism? Look at them with their lights. We haven't got no light. Allah, you depriving us? No. قِيلَ ارْجِعُوا وَرَاءَكُمْ فَالْتَمِسُوا نُورًا. They earned their light. In dunya, they lived for Allah. They worked for Allah. And they earned their light. What did you do? You want light? Go back and earn it from dunya. It's not about favoritism. This is about what people earned in their life. فَضُرِبَ بَيْنَهُمْ بِسُورِ لَهُ بَابٍ. And then Allah says, and then a great wall will be erected before them. A sur is not just any ordinary wall. A sur is a huge wall that people build around the city in order to protect it from attack. You know, like the Great Wall of China? That is a sur. Allah says, فَضُرِبَ بَيْنَهُمْ سُورٍ. Even though they've been told to back off, they can't help themselves, they're still going forward. We can't go back. And so what? The earth begins to shake beneath their feet. And a huge wall comes up before them, smack bang in front of them. And then Allah says that huge wall is in front of them. فَضُرِبَ بَيْنَهُمْ بِسُورٍ لَهُ بَابٍ. But we make one gate appear in that wall. Why one gate? As soon as the munafiqun see the gate, what do you think they're going to do? All run towards the gate. Maybe there's a way out. What do they see? There's bars on that gate. The gate is locked. And now we can still see the believers marching on. That's worse than just having a wall. Isn't that true? And that's why Ibn Ashur rahimahullah said that this is a type of mockery being done to them. You know why? Because that's exactly what they would say about Muslims. Try to mock them. Allah said in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا. When they meet the believers, what do they say with their mouths? آمَنَّا. We believe. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَىٰ شَيَاطِينِهِمْ. But when they are all alone with the shayateen, what do they say? إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ. Don't get confused. I might have a beard, I'm actually with you guys. إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ. We are only joking about, we are only mocking them. What does Allah then say? Allahu yastahzi'u bihim. Allah will mock them. And this, subhanallah, is one of the scenes of mockery that they will experience. Can you imagine? Would anyone want to ever have a fate like that? Never. That is what Allah is teaching us. Look at the fate of those people. Don't even think about living as a munafiq. You better think twice if you're living like that. So Allah says a wall is erected and a gate appears. بَاطِنُهُ فِيهِ الرَّحْمَةِ. Inside of that closed off area is rahmah. Al-Tabari said, Jannah is inside somewhere. They can sense it. What's inside? Rahmah. Jannah is somewhere inside there. We can't get there. وَظَاهِرُهُ مِنْ قِبِهِ الْعَذَابِ. But behind them, they turn around. Darkness. But they out there somewhere is Jahannam. Subhanallah. Back to the wall, Jahannam in front of them. Imagine. May Allah protect us. But they still don't give up. يُنَادُونَهُمْ. You see, the wall is up, but you can still shout over the wall, isn't it? So Allah says, يُنَادُونَهُمْ أَلَمْ نَكُمْ مَعَكُمْ. They call out to the believers again. Weren't we with you? Meaning, weren't we with you in this dunya? We went to the same masjid together. We went to school together, don't you remember me? Al-Tabari said they're saying you're buried in the same graveyard together. Why are you deserting me now? Why? They asked him a question. Out of desperation, they want to talk to us on that day. يُنَادُونَهُمْ أَلَمْ نَكُمْ مَعَكُمْ. When we're with you. Now the believers respond. What do they say? قَالُوا بَلَى. For sure. We went to the same school together. I remember you. We used to go to the talks together. However, we were different. And they give 4 reasons why you are on the other side of the wall today and I am on this side. قَالُوا بَلَى وَلَكِنَّكُمْ فَتَنْتُمْ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Reason number 1, you put your own soul to trial. Al-Tabari rahimahullah said what that means is that you chose to live as a double agent. You chose to live as a hypocrite. No one forced that life on you. You chose it yourself. And when you chose it, you chose your fate. Don't look at us and blame us. قَالُوا بَلَى وَلَكِنَّكُمْ فَتَنْتُمْ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Reason number 2. وَتَرَبَّصْتُمْ. Irtibas is to hold back. In those days, they would hold back on having true iman in their Prophet ﷺ. In those days, they would hold back in believing that Allah will help us, Allah will support us. They would say, no, I don't think that's going to happen. I doubt it. In our days, subhanAllah, the same thing. That the munafiqun, they hold back on having iman in the ABC of Islam. You ask the munafiq, what is your opinion on niqab? Now it's true that the Muslims differ. Niqab, some say it is a wajib. Some say no, it is recommended. Any Muslim out there say niqab has nothing to do with Islam? What do you know? So-called expert on Islam says niqab is an ancient Arab cultural practice, nothing to do with Islam. That's not right. Niqab is from Islam. We might differ about the ruling, but for sure it is part and parcel of Islam. Another example, segregation. Don't we believe that men and women that are not married or related, they can't just go up to each other and start talking casually, mixing with each other, having a nice jolly conversation? We believe that there is a level of segregation. Look at us here today. Men here, where are the women? This is part of Islam, yes or no? Yes. But what do you know? The munafiq says what? Segregation? That's what extremists do. Segregation? It's got nothing to do with Islam. The same thing, subhanallah. Al-Tabari said, وَتَرَبَّصْتُمْ means not just to hold back yourself on having iman in ABC of Islam, is to try and hold others back too. Isn't that what they're trying to do? Public platforms, Muslims, there's no such thing as Sharia law. No such thing. Muslim, there's no such thing as niqab. What do you know? Just like the munafiqun in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, trying to hold others back from believing in Islam, the same thing we see today. Reason number 2. وَارْتَبَتُمْ, and having serious doubts about Islam. Reason number 3, you're the other side of the wall. You see, in those days, they would doubt. Can you imagine? that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was actually a prophet of Allah. Imagine, you're living in the company of him, and yet you doubt that he's a messenger? Same thing in our times. Munafiqun, what's your position on hadith? Sahih Bukhari, Muslim, all the books on hadith, what do you have to say about them? We don't even believe they are real. You reject a hadith? Yes. The whole body of hadith, we rejected. A few men wrote this book, these books some hundreds of years after the life of the Prophet ﷺ. Total rejection of a hadith. Isn't that the same thing as the munafiqun of that time? Rejecting, believing in him as a messenger? The same thing. Allah teaching us the characteristics of hypocrites that will remain that day and today and tomorrow. Reason number 4, وَغَرَّتْكُمُ الْأَمَانِي, and you are wrapped up in wishful thinking. In those days, the munafiqun wished, they longed. One day these Muslims, they'll collapse. One day Medina will fall. When that happens, we'll take over. When that happens, we will rule this place, and they will be under our feet. The same thing, subhanAllah, today. غَرَّتْكُمُ الْأَمَانِي, wishful thinking that Islam will fall. That's never going to happen. Wishful thinking that the enemies of Islam are going to triumph. Wishful thinking. Look at this man. His name is Morton Storm. He sold his story to the papers. He said, I'm a self-confessed double agent. I worked for the secret services against the Muslim community. And I did everything they asked me to do. I went abroad and done missions for them. When I came back, I said to them, I want my payback now. I want the money that you promised me. What do you know? They refused to give me any money. And so I got vexed. So I went to the papers and I sold my story to the papers. Imagine, غَرَّتْكُمُ الْأَمَانِي, to think that that type of lifestyle pays off. They thought that at that time, and the same people think that in this time. غَرَّتْكُمُ الْأَمَانِيُّ حَتَّى جَاءَ أَمْرُ اللَّهِ, and they will continue to think stupid things like that until the amr of Allah comes, meaning until death comes and takes them away. So how do we deal with the problem of hypocrisy? Inshallah, in the second part, we'll speak about that. وأقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. I know what you are thinking. You are thinking, who are these people? Tell us who they are. Name them for us. But no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not tell the Muslims at that time the names of the hypocrites. Why? Because if you told them the names of the hypocrites, then maybe people like us would think they're dead now. Hypocrites don't exist anymore. So what did Allah tell us instead? Characteristics, traits of hypocrites. So we can see that if we have any traits like those traits we mentioned today, or we see them in other people, we can say, hang on, brother, sister. You know who speaks like that? You know who mocks Islam? Hypocrites mock Islam. Don't do that. You know who works with the enemies of Islam? Not Muslims. Hypocrites. Don't work with the enemies of Islam. So Allah taught us something that we can use today in dealing with the problem of hypocrisy. But before we move to speak about others, we need to look at our own selves. You know, there's a chapter in the Qur'an, Surah Al-Munafiqun. A whole chapter about the hypocrites. And at the end of that chapter, read it today, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about something which seems to be very different to the subject of hypocrisy. Allah speaks about infaq, which is spending your money for the sake of Allah. But the scholar said, in fact, those things are connected. That the hypocrite or the person who is suffering from a level of hypocrisy, he can treat that illness with the cure, which is to spend it in the sake of Allah. How so? Well, they said the munafiq, he loves the dunya so much that he's willing to sell his own religion, subhanAllah. Isn't that true? Why do you sell out your religion? Well, because I love the dunya. I love the prestige. I love the respect. I love the fame. I love the money. I love the job. So you love dunya. Yes, I love dunya. So how do you break the love of dunya in your heart? You spend your money for the sake of Allah, subhanAllah. Allah teaching us an amazing lesson that every single one of us, we have traits, unfortunately, of hypocrisy. And for sure, every one of us has a level of love and attachment to the dunya. How do you deal with that? You put your hand in your pocket and you say, you know what, I love this money. I love to spend it on myself and my family. Instead, I'll start giving it out for the sake of Allah. The moment you start doing that, continuously, the love of dunya begins to diminish slowly, slowly, slowly. So that is one lesson for us all. Be people who are more charitable than ever before. People who continue to give sadaqah every single day of their life, if not every single week, if not every single month. Now about the munafiqun, and we'll end with this. How do we deal with the munafiqun exactly? Do we go around suspecting people, trying to label them? Akhi, I never saw you for Isha yesterday. Are you sure you're not a munafiq? No, that is not the way. The way that we deal with munafiqun is that we educate ourselves about the characteristics of the munafiqun. Did you know that in the Qur'an, Allah gave us more than 25 different unique traits of munafiqun? Why? In order for us to imagine what a real munafiq acts like. So when we see somebody behaving similar to this, we can say, Akhi, brother, sister, don't say or do things like that. Hypocrites say those type of things. Don't do that. And if you do, you know what? As a community, we see one person behaving like that, we warn them. We say, we're not calling you a hypocrite, but we say you're acting like a hypocrite. And if you don't stop acting like a hypocrite, then we don't want anything to do with you. We're not going to welcome you in the masjid. We're not going to welcome you in our home. But if you go around mocking the messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do you think we're going to open our doors to you and say, it's okay, as long as you say you're a Muslim, we can't really say anything against you? No, we're going to take that from you. We'll warn against you. Why? Because Allah told us this is how a munafiq behaves. And though we may not label you as a munafiq, we're not going to label you as a true believer either. We're going to say, brother, sister, we're warning you, don't behave like that. That is the way a hypocrite behaves. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to purify our hearts and the hearts of our families and our children from this evil disease of hypocrisy. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to rid our community of these wretched munafiqeen. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا إننا آمنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وأقيموا الصلاة.